Buenos dias, mi amigos! Today I want to start a new series of videos in which we are going to discuss some practical, real-world applications of our motorcycle training. How exactly can we convert all this riding around the cone stuff into real-world situations? Before we start, please put a thumbs up under this video and hit the subscribe button. And also consider becoming a member of this channel. If you don't mind to listen to my accent for a while and can afford to spend $7, you'll get access to a whole motorcycle training course, which is designed specifically for a rider who just ride on public roads, cities, highways and such. It's just all the stuff you really need to learn to become much better and safer rider. But enough of my self-promotion, let's begin. In today's video, we'll concentrate on minor tip-overs. They are usually not that dangerous, but they definitely can cost you a lot, and, well, sometimes they are quite embarrassing. So I think it's safe to say that it's better to avoid dropping your bike altogether. Let's watch some clips where people drop their bikes, and then we'll talk about what mistakes these people did. And finally, we'll discuss what actually we can do to prevent these fails. First clip. As you can see, this rider goes at slow speed and at some point he loses his balance. He tries to muscle his bike with his legs, but the bike is just too heavy. And finally, he panics, grabs the front brake, and after that he just drops it. There is nothing more he can do. Another clip. Everything is the same. Heavy bike, rider loses balance, tries to pick up the bike with his legs and grabs brake at the end. What we clearly can see from these clips is that when heavy bike starts to tip over, you can't save it by putting your foot down. And when you grab the front brake like this, it's over. Your bike is on its side. Now, next two clips. Here the biker tries to make a slow speed turn. His front brake is not on video, but judging from how fast the bike decelerates, 99% that he again grabbed the front brake. If you suddenly just grab the front brake when you are going slow and your bike is leaned, your bike almost certainly will end up on its side. Here is the next example. Again, this guy is attempting to make a slow U-turn, but again, as he starts to lose his balance, he puts his feet on the ground and grabs the front brake. As you can see, just as at previous two examples, you just can't keep your bike upright with your legs when it starts to tip over. And when you hit that front brake, it doesn't help. One more clip. Let's see what's wrong here. Okay. Again we see that we can't really depend on our legs while we lose balance. Sometimes just because the ground is a bit lower than we expected. But what we can do to regain balance and not to drop the bike? Answer is easy. Release the clutch. All these cases are essentially slow riding, in which you can use the friction zone riding technique, when you keep your throttle slightly opened and operate your clutch to increase or decrease the speed of your bike. And as you probably already know, when our bike accelerates, it tends to stabilize itself. So, when you feel that your bike starts to tip over, you just release the clutch a little, bike momentarily accelerates and regains its balance. That's just what the slow race exercise is all about. In this exercise, we don't depend on our legs, and by going really slow, we intentionally make our bike unstable. Just as soon as it starts to fall down, we release the clutch a little and bike stays upright. And by repeating this exercise a lot, we essentially make it reflex. We will not grab a front brake anymore and we will not put our feet down. We'll just release the clutch and our bike will stand up. That's why these exercises are very beneficial for our everyday riding. For example, if you master the slow race exercise, stop and go and stop box exercises, you'll probably never find yourself in a situation when you just lose balance and tip over. So, all this ride slow and don't duck walk your bike is not just for show. It has direct impact on how you ride every day. Just another reason to get my training course. Okay, I hope you liked this video. Tell me in the comments if you'd like to see more of these videos, where I explain the correlation between real-world riding and training on parking lots. Let's call it a day. See you next time. Bye.